Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a film from 2014. That movie is Son of Batman. Now, I know that this film is the DC Animated Cinematic Universe's first taste of Damian Wayne, our titular son of Batman. I unfortunately don't know much about Damian Wayne as a character because I haven't had a chance to read any of the comics where Damian Wayne is Robin. I know nothing about it. The only things I know is that he's the bastard son of Bruce Wayne, who was conceived after a fling between Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. That's all I know. And also that Damian Wayne's a little bit of a fucking psycho, so at least he kind of takes after his dad, so at least we have that. I know nothing else about the character. I know very little about this film outside of the fact that Damian's got some kind of a grudge against Deathstroke for whatever reason. Hopefully that's going to be explained in this film's hour and 14-minute runtime. I'm certainly hoping for it to be good, considering the fact that it's a direct-to-video animated film from DC Comics, and considering the pattern that those have had, this probably will be at least decent. But the only way I'm going to find out, guys, is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Son of Batman. Well, guys, at least now I know why Damian wants to kill Deathstroke so badly. And all things considered, I really don't blame him. Damn, that was fucking cold, man. You know, guys, it is almost frightening exactly how much Damian takes after his father. Really makes him cool. I'm really digging this fucking kid, no matter how psychotic he was with the hedges. At least he's, beyond that, he's certainly fucking cool. I really am kind of liking this. You know, guys, there actually is something, now there is something about Damian's Robin, costume I think is sort of cool. I really think, I really am liking the fur fucking trim he has around the collar. And Deathstroke has a whole army of man-bat ninjas. That's kind of cool. I really wasn't exactly expecting that, but still, it's sort of cool. Well, guys, I am able to say at least this much. This big final fight between Deathstroke and Damian, man, this honestly is one hell of a fight. This, guys, is really a badass fight. I am really loving this. Well, guys, that was Son of Batman. Let me shut that off. Okay. Well, I'd like to say that I do know that there's a sequel to this film. I will be covering it next month. I cannot wait to watch it. I think that should sort of spoil a little bit exactly what I thought of this movie. But why don't we touch on this movie itself? I said before I started watching I'd never read anything featuring Damian as Robin. And after watching this, I really do want to go out and find a bunch of the trades where Damian Wayne is Robin so I can see how that all played out in the comics. Because what's here is really cool. And I do kind of like how we have a full character arc with Damian, how he starts off headstrong and reckless and arrogant and fueled entirely by vengeance, and he learns by the end of the film. This is kind of a spoiler, but you probably saw it fucking coming anyway. He learns that vengeance vengeance should not be your driving motivation. You need to think more and think past hate, anger, and vengeance. And it really is a very well-defined arc, and I loved how they handled it. I really did like the story here. And I mentioned that when Damian first shows up, he's arrogant, he is headstrong. If you want to know exactly how dickish he is, everybody who comes in contact with him seems to hate him slightly. Alfred is using every last drop of his natural snark to kind of sort of hint hint to Bruce that he doesn't like this fucking kid. And it's funny as hell. When he finally meets up with Nightwing and slashes the shit out of Nightwing, while Nightwing is getting stitched up, Damian makes a crack about his old fucking Robin costume. Nightwing comes within a syllable of telling Damian to go to... He comes within a syllable, honest to God, within a syllable of telling Damian to go fuck himself. The only reason why he doesn't say it is because Alfred stops him. He actually stops him at go f. And it's funny as hell. It really is. It is a really well done scene, and it shows exactly how Damian rubs everybody the wrong way because he's so arrogant. He's so pompous. He takes after his father in so many fucking ways. It's almost terrifying. In fact, even both Batman and Alfred both mention that it's almost shocking exactly how much he takes after his father. It's really, really cool. And I really liked what they did here with Talia. I liked what they did with Deathstroke. Really, guys, I kind of liked what they did with every single character here. It was done incredibly well. And our story, as is the way with a lot of these DC films, it never lets up. Now, right here is sort of the difference here, is that the last episode I covered, or rather in the last episode of this, I covered All-Star Superman, and I talked about how they seem to be rushing through a whole lot of things and left a lot of stuff feeling a touch shallow. Here we don't have that. We have a story that was almost tailor-made to work for an hour and 14 minutes. And my God, it's awesome. It is amazingly written. And it is going to be an awesome hour and 14 for you when you finally get around to watching it. This movie is fantastically written. Not only do we have awesome writing, but also our cast is great. Guys, this honestly is not a secret, because I've talked about the voice acting in both Justice League War and Justice League the Throne of Atlantis. I really like the voice acting in those. And since this is part of that same canon universe, our Batman is played by the same man, which is Jason O'Mara. And Jason O'Mara finally gets his chance to play Batman for an entire film, and holy shit, does he ever play Batman well. He really does, guys. Jason O'Mara is a fantastic Batman, and he shows that if you put him in a feature-length film, and you put him in there alone, my God, he can fucking shine. That is awesome. And the rest of our cast are also not fucking slouching. Our whole cast is turning in an amazing showing, and it really does help strengthen a script which is already awesome. So we have great writing. We have an amazing cast. Animation, art style, all of that again is the same thing we saw in Justice League War and also Justice League the Throne of fucking Atlantis. So it's that same kind of art style. It looks really cool. It does certainly fit, this film. Everything here looks awesome, but have to talk about that CG. I know I talked a lot about that last year when I was covering a lot of these DC films. I mentioned how vehicles looked awful because they were in CG. Well, Nightwing is flying in what I can only assume is supposed to be the fucking Batwing, but it looks like a shoebox rendered in CG. It looks ridiculously boxy, and it doesn't have any of the detail or any of the contours which are there in everything, which is hand drawn. It stands out so much, guys, and it is probably the one lone negative I'm gonna levy on this, is the fact that that one vehicle looks fucking awful. And I do have to stress that one vehicle, because everything else we see involving cars or helicopters or the Batmobile, everything else looks great. But Dick Grayson flying around in that goddamn jet, that jet looks like shit. But then again, that I think is probably the only thing that was rendered in CG, and it looks fucking awful. And he plays a rather prominent role in the final act as he flies around in this stupid thing. So it's going to be noticeable, and the fact that it's on screen for so long makes it even more noticeable every time they come back to it. So if I had to come up with any negative, it is that the Batwing or whatever the hell kind of Batman-centric jet Dick fucking Grayson was flying in, it looked awful. It did. It looked absolutely hideous when compared to everything else in the movie, and it stands out like a sore thumb. Everything else, though, guys, in terms of animation, is great, and I believe I did see a lot of other CG involving things like arrows and shit. Specifically, it was specifically a Gatling gun that fires nothing but arrows. I'm going to assume that the arrows were all modeled in CG, and that looked awesome. It's just, once more, that one fucking jet looked awful, so I did kind of feel the urge to mention it. Our sound mix here is great. Our score here is awesome. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can really talk about. Well, I guess I can just say this once more. There is a direct sequel to Son of Batman, and that is the film Batman versus Robin. I am going to be checking that one out later on this month, and I cannot wait to see it. So I guess that kind of answers it. Can I recommend Son of Batman? Yes, I fucking can. This movie is fantastic. I loved every second of it. I loved every frame of it. This was a fun Batman movie, and that is always what I'm looking for with Batman, is I want something that is fun and preferably action fucking packed, and you totally get that here. Yes, guys, I can absolutely recommend Son of Batman, and if you haven't seen it yet, by all means do. However, I will have to stress that this is also part of the grander DC animated cinematic universe. So you might want to watch Justice League War and the Throne of Atlantis before watching this, just so that way you've got everything in fucking order. But you honestly don't have to, because nothing in those films really ties into this. But those two films do kind of build up Batman a little bit more before you dive into this. But still, I can totally recommend this. This movie is awesome. Now, Son of Batman came off the Amazon wishlist. The person who sent it in is Roland. You can find Roland's DeviantArt page. Yes, he wants me to give a shout out to his DeviantArt page at gearsx.deviantart.com. Roland, dude, I thank you. I was really curious about this when it first came out. I really had meant to go out and buy it for myself, and I never really got the chance to. And then I put it on the wish list, and you sent it in, and for that I thank you. You're fucking awesome, dude. Once more, that is gearsx.deviantart.com. Oh man. You know, I'm really looking forward to watching Batman versus Robin now. I really fucking am. But I've got a few more movies I have to get through first. I'm looking at the next one. I've got them all in a little pile over here. Yeah, that one there I think is going to be a fun one. But I'm going to save that for later. As for me, I think I'm actually going to go and rewatch War in the Throne of Atlantis, and I might come back to this one again. Actually, no. Wait. First, oh yeah, there are those bonus cartoons on here. I think 2 of them are from Batman the fucking Brave and the Bold. I think I actually looked at them before I started the movie. I think 2 of them were from Brave and the Bold. One is from Batman Beyond, and oh yeah, the other one is Showdown from Batman. I believe that's the one that had Jonah Hex in it, wasn't it? Fuck yes, I believe it was. Oh shit, I'm gonna go marathon those first. Then maybe I'll go back to Justice League War. My god, man, that episode of Batman is just fucking awesome. I cannot wait to fire it up. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another installment of Reaction and Review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.